All right, good morning, Morena. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk about your new movie, Greenland. I have to say,
Wow.
I always thought that I was sort of the worst audience for disaster movies, but after seeing this, I realized that this one works double time for us, for the audience to care about the characters as opposed to caring about. I was never amazed. I was like, why am I supposed to be amazed at thousands of people dying? Like, that's not my thing. But this one works so much because you guys put in the work with the characters. Was that apparent with the script, or is that something that you think you guys worked on the set while making the movie?
Yeah, it's definitely something that I connected with when reading the script. I also had those same concerns, and when I got sent the script and said, my agent had to say, "You have to read this one. Like you have to read this one all the way through." Like I cried. There's like a compelling family and a story that grounds it in reality. Because you're right, a lot of these disaster movies are just all about the special effects and the incredible ways in which you can destroy human lives. But like this movie actually, creates, I think, a world that is very, very realistic.
Hmm.
And that connection to the family and the emotional aspect of what's happening, I think, really pulls the audience in even more.
All right, so let me ask you this, because you're a mom, obviously, so there's no stretch there to sort of the terrible situations that your character faces.
Yeah.
But I mean, I know you guys shot this before knowing that what 2020 was going to be like, but I thought like it was so stressful watching this movie, which means that you guys were doing a good job. Was it stressful putting yourself in that situation while shooting it?
Yes.
How'd you handle it? How'd
Yes.
you cope? How
I
did
mean,
you
I,
cope
I
with
don't
that?
I don't know how to work any other way than to just throw myself into the job, and then I kind of deal with the repercussions later. Was my kids were with me in Atlanta while I was shooting most of the time, and it was just really hard. I was spending a lot of time away from them, but seeing them occasionally, and then having to put myself through this like unimaginable loss of like losing a kid in the middle of a road of people kidnapping him, and the possibility of him not being able to go to safety and all this stuff. And it made it very real for me. I was able to use my own life. And I don't care who you are, when you have a kid and you even
Hmm.
remotely think about the idea of something happening to that child, it is so visceral and so real. And it didn't take much to go there. I just had to kind of let it happen, which can be scary. And I
Yeah.
spent some time kind of recovering. I had a couple of days where we shot those scenes kind of back to back. And after that, I was like, okay, I need like a day off to just be with my kids to like play.
The movie's better for it, though. So hats off to
Thank
you.
you.
What's been your comfort food? Not necessarily eating. Like, how have you been
Mm.
sort of and how have you been distressing throughout this time? Um,
I love cooking, so I've really enjoyed. I do, and I rarely get a chance to do it. And so for the last 4 months, I've really enjoyed opening the refrigerator. Like I just go shopping and I just get a bunch of stuff. I don't plan meals. I open the refrigerator and I go like, what can I make? And it starts to get more and more interesting as I was trying to shop once every 2 weeks in the beginning of the pandemic. So by the end of the 2 weeks, it was more like what's in the pantry versus what's in the fridge. But
uh,
it was really fun to create things out of like what was left.
all right. So thank you. My time's up. You guys did great. Please stay safe. Thank you so much for your time. And they're
Thank
gonna
you very much.